We
Oh,
are
fuck.
live. Hello, everybody, and welcome
Oh,
to session. I believe we're on 94 now. Of D&D Papihos. My name is JC or Jacob, and I'm joined here by four, hopefully soon to be five, wonderful people: Elminia, James, Alpha, Suzanne, and soon Jazz. We are jumping into rapidly approaching almost triple digits of our D&D show. I hope everyone is enjoying their time here. I just all of a sudden started doing a lot of retrospective and introspective in the moment, and yeah, it's great. But we'll be chilling and ticking ever closer. I believe we're like a month away from hitting episode 100.
whoa.
Other than that, I think the only announcement I had is I can't guarantee it because I don't know what's going to be happening, but I can say that either after this, if we have a short one after this, or tomorrow, I will be just kind of doing a general stream, not for D&D, more because I realized that I haven't been able to do a lot of that, and I wanted to do that for my own birthday. So we'll be having that after for probably tomorrow, because we always seem to run longer rather than shorter. But with announcements kind of out of the way, and people ready to roll some dice, let's get started with episode 94 of Papihos. Where we last left off, you all had taken it upon yourselves, granting yourselves the ability to step back and take a breath. And with that, the party got to, and is still currently, getting to act as individuals rather than a group. Zex is currently working throughout Greywall, assisting people on contracts. Nime has returned to Usapate to find her mentor badly wounded and is caring for him. Gilgamesh has gone to Decaria, the city of Dragonborns, to take his place as the champion of Decaria and fulfill his duties before returning to the group after everyone's done their part in peace. And Rem and Suna have stuck together, traveling to Rem's home nation of Icaria, a gnome and halfling dominated nation. And bringing with them, they brought the high elven shopkeeper, Barris, with them. On this journey, everyone's getting to kind of flex their muscles, relax a little bit, and get to see what they've possibly moved on or are trying to move on from. And we will jump back in with the end of a boat trip as a barge kind of moves along, sets down, and Suna,
Yeah.
what you kind of see as you, Barris, and Ram is throughout the last about half day-ish, You've all just been milling around on this barge, getting to see the sights that a grand forest could show you. The forest itself is beautiful, despite the macabre name of the Weeping Woods. Tall pine trees, and it's so natural, and it doesn't evoke anything past just being a sight of nature for you. But that sight of nature is beginning to kind of parse away, for a matter of saying. Because
Okay.
on the side of the river that the barge is approaching, you begin to see old, faded stone walls curled into arches and a small tipped point of a temple. And dotting around it, you can see a small fence as well. And then beyond that, large gray slabs of stone. They start neatly in a row by the fence of the temple. And then moving outwards, you can see as they begin to encroach on the actual forest, getting out from this opening, the graves become more seemingly random or possibly even placed. There's a tree there's a grave at the base of one tree, and then 5 paces away, another one facing an opposite direction. The orderly rows soon gives way to the chaos of natural growth. You see that the temple itself is busy. There are forms of people kind of moving swiftly in and out, and you can see kind of probably the first thing is the kind of rumbling of one shorter form as they push along a wheelbarrow that is filled with these different sizes of rock and gravel, and turns around and disappears behind the wall of the temple itself. Another group of people are next to a felled tree and beginning to cut off branches with short hacksaws. And I think finally, as you guys go, you can see a well-maintained but obviously ancient-looking dockside. As the barge pulls up to it, you can see a spattering of halfling people that take the ropes and begin fastening them down. Some of them look maybe like in their 30s, you would guess. As you can feel the barge kind of tighten and bounce off of this dock, and the halfling that is currently on the barge that has pulled up the paddle and begins storing it and clips it onto the deck of the barge. Just someone's, passengers are good to load off. We're here. Barris kind of just looks over at you.
I guess we'll do that.
The 3 of you step off of the barge. The carriage takes a little bit of a second, as you can see large planks of wood are being set to make this kind of track for it to go across. But in the meantime, you can see the 2 halflings that have begun hacksawing off parts of the tree have stopped and kind of looked over at the 3 of you before one of them, a kind of, I guess, wider halfling, kind of sits up, and he's got kind of like that New York paperboy hat on, as he begins kind of walking up to the three of you. You kind of glance to the side, and Rem has kind of thrown his hood up before anything else has happened.
Fuck.
Rem, you watch as this boy kind of walks up to you. Welcome to the Temple of the Lady of Grief. Have you come to pay respects or set up a schedule?
I'd like to meet with the leader of this establishment. Who heads your temple?
The head of the temple, of course. The current head of the temple is Sly. I will... please follow me. And the halfling boy kind of dips his head, kind of tightening the cap, and begins to lead you guys in. As the three of you walks, Barris kind of leans down next to you, Rem, and, do you have your reasons for... You know, I'll let you work. And kind of, without even waiting for an answer, just kind of stands back up and straightens.
We're not in the carriage anymore?
The carriage is currently being unloaded a little bit slower. Because, you know, you guys went from a very well-maintained and newish dock to a well-maintained but also well-worn and older version dock. So they're currently putting out these two large planks to get the cart off if you wanted to wait.
Yeah, because they can't move it. There's no horse. Oh, I have to wait because they can't move it.
Not easily, no.
Unless I can, like, issue a latent command to follow after me once the planks are down.
Basically, they're not, like, they'll be able to push it off. Like, the wheels aren't locked.
I'll wait, a moment while they do this.
So, a minute or so, and the planks are there, and you can see, it's a thing of the wheels kind of get turned, and the halflings that are on the barge they saw you drive on without any horse, but it's still kind of like jolts them a little bit when it starts moving. And you can hear the creaking of wood as the carriage descends onto the lush grass of the temple grounds. Right, and one of the one of the oarmen kind of call off. Are we waiting for you, or will you be one of the weekly people who will come back and check?
You can check back later.
Right. Back on the river, boys. Pull out the oars, and you can immediately see them beginning to call stuff out, and some people call and begin wrapping, unwinding the ropes that they've already secured, and immediately the knots becoming untied as the barge gets ready to set off. But you've got the three of you, you've got the cart, and you've got this halfling boy kind of waiting for you all.
I'll follow him.
Please. And the three of you kind of walk up. The front of the temple is a lovely display of arches. It looks like the temple almost used to be bigger, with about a third of it left, if that makes sense, as the front of it is one main stone arch that is then complemented by 2 more arches that go out and land in the ground but have no doors or walls behind them. And as you all go up, you can see the symbol of the Lady of Grief emblazoned of this weeping eye into the stone above the door. And you can see the halfling boy just kind of take pause, glance up and touch. It seems that he might have like a necklace or something underneath his tunic, touching something before stepping inside. Please follow me.
I'm playing along.
Okay. The 3 of you enter in, and the entirety of the temple has this kind of soothing-esque aroma to it. There's the basic smell of pine that you did expect, but it's somehow enhanced within here. As all of you kind of go, you can see there's this older-ish, still younger than Rem, mind you, Suna. But
Okay.
there's this halfling girl with black hair that's tied up in this kind of like deep blue kerchief that is kind of tying her hair together. And she's kind of talking over, like almost like teaching, informing this younger group of halflings and gnomes as she talks to them, maybe 4 or 5, as they're all kind of listening, and one of them even has a book that they're possibly reading along with or possibly taking notes in. You're not close enough to see. As the halfling boy kind of moves past her, the 2 of them make eye contact and nod at each other before he pushes further in past these rows of pews with a small, a good size, I would say, probably around the height of Barris, a good sized shrine, not a statue of the Lady of Grief, but a shrine to her, is near the front. And you can actually see him kind of walk past it to the left, still nodding at the shrine. But as the 3 of you move past that, he gets to a combination wood and brass door that he just kind of knocks on. We have visitors to the temple. You just hear, "Yep, give me a moment." And Rem, with your high perception, you can hear the footsteps up to the door, and then someone, like multiple instances of someone clearing their throat behind the door. And then the door opens, sliding, and revealing, Suna, you see a goblin. A good age, probably maybe in his 40s, beginning to almost like his hair beginning to turn from this black to silver. You can see several strands just kind of moving through his hair, wearing this gray and white hooded cloak, basically, that is fully pulled back and around his shoulders. He has dangling from his neck in full display the same symbol that Rem wears and uses of the Lady of Grief, the weeping eye. And along his hands, you can see different, like small brass rings that he has all along his left hand on each of his fingers. Hello and welcome to the Lady of Grief's temple. We would be honored to assist or inform in any way. Are you here to visit or schedule an appointment? My name is Sly, and I'm the current host and caretaker for Our Lady.
Sly, is it?
Yes, Sly.
Sly. Didn't I tell you to always greet visitors with more confidence?
And he's rolling. Oh, here. We'll do this. Hello and welcome to the Lady of Grief's temple. If you pray hard enough, you may become taller than me. You can see we have 2 people that are well devoted and 1 person who is trying his best. Is that good?
That's enough confidence for me, and I'm gonna take my hood off.
And you see he kind of moves forward and pauses before kind of grasping your shoulder, kind of getting a chunk of your armor in his hand. It's it is good for you to come back here. I hope the letter didn't force you away from anything. Who are your friends? And he turns to you soon as I already told him my name. Welcome. You are. He kind of looks between the 3 of you.
I'm Suna.
It's good to meet you. And Barris kind of steps and gives a slight bow. And I am Barris. And kind of blinks for a second. You, I mean, I hope you got the letter.
I did get the letter, and you have not taken me away from anything important
Okay.
at this time. But, as they said, this is Suna, another one that I took in while in the continent.
And if I remember, you said you were heading to, you weren't heading to. I'm so bad with these. And he kind of, you see, he kind of pulls back into himself and begins kind of like. Rem, you can hear him kind of mouthing names of places. You didn't go to the Elven Nation, did you? It was
dear, no.
Papihos. Yeah. I mean, it looks like a change of location has done wonders for you.
It comes with its pros and its cons. But I am here, ready to somewhat reassert myself in my duties.
Somewhat.
I'm not staying permanently.
Oh.
We'll talk about it more. I have something to unload from my carriage. Let's go do that. We'll talk on the way.
Of course.
How's he feeling? Why? I'm insight checking him. What a hell? 29?
29. Yeah, he's got nothing.
You can't hide anything from Grandpa.
I mean, it's still like a surprise to see you. He's happy, and obviously able to shoot back with something as soon as you gave him grief. But he's it's someone who's kind of like going through the laundry list of, do I ask him stuff? About like what he's been doing? Do I tell him stuff about what I've been doing? Do I and kind of like all of those, and going through the possible things that he could say next when he opens his mouth.
Well, we have a bit of ways to walk. Come on. Don't hold your tongue. Not on my account.
We've been doing good. The biggest thing is we've been we've kind of split some things up once you left. didn't have it within me to kind of give people of the temple what they needed is the problem. So, the biggest thing is we have Mara's kind of taken over as the groundskeeper. I've become the host of the temple itself, and then Kate has. They were all here when you were here. Kate has become the teacher for the newcomers and those who just need assistance. And as he says, Kate, you just hear, "Oh!" And she kind of pats down and pulls, and you can hear this, like, the cry of younger children not wanting to do something. But Suna and Rem, you guys kind of see that halfling girl with her with the blue kerchief just kind of pull up the kids by the back of their tunics, set them on their feet, and kind of begin to, like, usher the 5 kids towards the group of you. I'm so sorry. I didn't see what. Or I didn't. You had your. Why'd you have your hood up?
You don't. Theatrics. I've gotten
no,
a flair for them
no,
in my journeys.
You don't do theatrics when it stops us from seeing you sooner. That's just cruel.
I'm here and I'll be here for some time. Are these new recruits? Where do we get these ones?
Well, there was a these 5 were almost off. Somewhere 2 of them were offered and given up. There was a familial spat from what I've heard in the King's City. 4 families in trouble, 5 children to send to us. And we took them under our wing and they've been settling in over the past 2 years, so, or not 2 years, that's way too long. Where did I do this? Shit. I'm off my game.
You know, I want to let everyone know he told me Sly was in his 20s.
When he's in his 20s and he's 40. Yeah. You're 60, shut up.
Ish. I might be pushing 70
You're
soon.
an old man.
Relatively.
Relative. As she... Yeah. So... No, this was more recent. This was like 7 months ago. They've been adapting fine. It's hard for anyone who comes here and has to stay for a little bit though, but they're learning their way. And she kind of
and ask them, and did you cry your whole way down the river? Like, I'm poking at them a little bit. I'm joking at their expense, just a little bit.
You can see there's like one, like wide face, like little gnomish guy, like probably about like 5. I don't cry for nothing. You'll cry when I punch you. He's like, okay, we don't punch people. I'll punch them. I'm the puncher. No, it's my job. And you see him kind of walk forward and like kind of cock like the wind up of someone that just gonna throw a haymaker before his tunic becomes taut as she just grabs and plucks. You can hear the of it pulling against his neck as she pulls him back to the other 5 or the other 4. They have spirit, sometimes a little too much, but they're doing well.
I'm sure our little punchy hero will calm down once he sees what I have for him.
I'll
bring them along.
Smack you. Oh, okay. They were getting bored of the lesson anyway. And your ever-growing group moves out of the main room of the temple, and outside where there have been a couple, like you can see a couple halflings and gnomes gathered around the cart looking at it. Sly kind of looks over. This is yours then.
Indeed it is. I'm gonna swing my hands open and open the doors.
As there's like one like gnomish one, like girl. I can't decide whether I should call them kid or girl or woman. It's all together. Just kind of snaps her hand back as she was like about to touch it before it steps back. So your time away from us has done real good for you.
Oh, you haven't even seen half of what I can do at this point. This is just a trinket.
And Kate kind of looks. And that's quite a large thing to be calling a trinket.
Well, unload it. Take it inside.
Mm-hmm.
Have them unload it. Gather everyone.
All right. All right. And Kate kind of begins with, I'm gonna. Anything specific we shouldn't be taking out?
Thanks.
All right. Okay, I'm gonna be handing you some stuff, and we're gonna be taking it in. And she kind of goes, and she kind of picks it up. You can see more than hear her kind of take a pause as she picks up one of the bags. Before she kind of clutches it to her chest, comes out to the door, and you can see that like a smile that's on her face before she hands it down to the Mr. Punch, as he looks as donuts and throws it at another kid. Immediately, the kid is gonna catch it before the gaggle of 5 kids all begin like looking into that bag and gathering around it. And Sly's like, there's gonna, and kind of looks at you as he's saying it, there's gonna be plenty for everyone. Just take it inside, store it on the table, and let's get it all sorted. Everyone will get their share. It kind of begins almost pulling the kids off of each other as they're all beginning to rip the top of the bag open.
I'm gonna use my big boy voice, my grandpa voice, and say the longer you take, the longer it's gonna take for you to eat them. Come on, hurry along.
With that, they all kind of scatter, leaving Sly with that first bag, and come up as Kate begins dealing out these bags. And it's attracting more and more people as soon as you watch as more people come from outside within the forest, and you can see some of them with shovels, others with like these buckets holding water with these rags on them, as people begin kind of setting some stuff down. Rem, you see a good amount of people you recognize, some others you don't. There seems to have been probably about like 8 new people, including those 5 kids from when you'd left. And
Not a bad haul.
it becomes this kind of train of children, young adults, and older folk moving through. The important thing to note for Suna is no one that you can see, although there are... Sly is the oldest of the people from this temple, but no one seems to have age on Rem here. Rem does seem to be the eldest of everyone else here.
Okay.
With Sly being in his like late 30s, early 40s, and Kate being in her 20s.
Damn.
So, yeah. All these bags kind of get begin getting offloaded bag after bag after bag as you clean out the entire cabinet full of sweets. And as some of the younger kids start getting bored, you can all kind of catch them at different points. Especially that young 5-year-old kind of began like climbing the spokes of the wheels on the cart, and just basically using it as a little jungle gym. as more of these bags of sweets and regular bread gets unloaded.
Inside. I'll ride you around later. That's dangerous. Come on.
I'm brave.
How brave. And I'm going to attempt to intimidate this child.
Okay. Intimidate the child.
And I have advantage.
I
am the guy.
You're the guy with the cart. Sure.
I'm going to intimidate the hell out of this child. A 15 is enough for a 5-year-old. I also did roll a nat 1 on the other one, so I needed this.
You did. As he kind of looks, he's just kind of looks up at you. I'm brave, and snatches a bag from another kid and just runs into the temple.
Never thought I'd see the day where one of them would stare me down. Most of them cry.
Well, and Sly kind of comes out from bringing the bag that he had started with himself. You do know you've spent some time away, and so your legend has not faded. But without being able to post it on a real thing, some people get a little brave. And remember, he's from the capital. He's from far away. I doubt he'd ever come down here before.
Oh, I'm gone. We'll fix that.
You are gonna become the monster of the river and forest.
I have to live up to my reputation as the boogeyman, you know? I'd be doing you a disservice if I didn't.
Look, right now, I think they're just fine with you being the person who brought them sweets.
I should have saw the kids that brought the sweets out. They didn't forget.
Where'd you get them?
A taste of guilt?
Oh! Okay. Well, a shop in Netherborough is more likely to stick with your legend.
I got it from where I started. I wouldn't have been able to... They wouldn't have been any good by the time I got here. I started in... It's like... I don't want to fuck this up. It's like Ramad or Ramard, something like that.
Ramad, yeah.
Ramad, yeah. I started there.
Yeah, no, weekish of travel? Yeah, that would have... They would have been stale.
Anyway, let's go inside. We'll get everyone situated, and I'll tell everyone about everything's going on. It seems like you have tons of questions. I have tons of answers, and we'll get this all sorted.
Well, as long as you're able to basically fill in every detail you've left out of your stories, there's been a question a kid's had. So,
do my best. How is Barris responding to this all, by the way?
She's kind of standing off, her hands just kind of together, just kind of watching.
Can I insight check her?
Sure.
20?
20. She doesn't look uncomfortable per se, but she's got the stance of someone who understands that this is not her conversation to have, basically. She's
the friend of a friend at a party.
Yes. She is the, at best, observer here. And she's trying to make sure that it's not going to be awkward.
I'll usher her along. Barris, you have nothing to worry about. You'll be treated with the utmost respect here. You don't have to be over to the side.
I don't doubt that. I'm just not that concerned about getting respect at the moment. Letting you have yours.
Get plenty of it over the treats that I bought. Let's go.
Of course. And
you've never seen so many, have you? Been out of your depth?
I have experience with exactly 2 continents, dear, and this is not one of them. As long as I'm not putting them off, I guess, with with my stature and my disposition. I'm sure it will all go swimmingly.
I'll do my best to make sure none of them try to climb you.
I'll do that as well. I'll let the kids know. That would be appreciated. Still, at any point, if I see that I can be useful to a story or a recount, then I will do my due diligence to assist you, Rem. So, but in the meantime, you're the storyteller for this moment.
Very well. And we're gonna get started, get into the actual mix of things, and actually go in and settle in and let all that stuff happen.
All right. There is a kind of a sprawl of off to another side, not in the main area. You can see the eating area, less of a dining room and more of a cafeteria-esque. These long, old, worn wooden tables with benches kind of set up. It's kind of summer camp-ish, as the kids have kind of pulled up and kind of scooted in as Sly goes over to Kate, who's off on another at another table that's just against the wall, and she's kind of setting aside and sorting out all of the different things as Sly goes over and talks about different things. And she's, well, I just wanted to make sure and know what things are when they touch each other. You know, Luca's allergic to some things, and I don't want her to get, and it's fine if they're not all allergic. And he's like, I know, but it's better to be safe than sorry, and that's why you're better than it at me. Okay. And they literally do, as Rem, you kind of see as the three of you sit down, they do all right, we're going to be doing this table first, and you can see the kids kind of cheer, and the kids on the opposite side of the room groan, and kind of the movement, and you can see what you've been used to of the older adults and young adults wait and allow the younger kids to go first, as the kids descend, and you can see why the two of them are up there, because it does take both Kate and Sly to regulate these kids from destroying as much of the treats as possible, descending on it like ravenous wolves.
I'm gonna slide right back into my position and get up there and regulate with authority.
And with it, there's it goes into the everyone gets their one. If there's more left over, we'll get into that. But we have right now they only have the actual treats out. The bread seems to have been set aside, and all of them kind of begin picking their pieces before the next table and the next table, and through the next probably 10 minutes, the 20 to 25-ish people all grab something, and there is more left over, very obviously from your perspective, but of course they're just Sly and Kate are just kind of acting off of principle of making sure that there's stuff left over, and as all of them kind of grab something, you and Barris and Sina can grab as well, as Kate grabs like an eclair, and Sly just grabs this like a piece of pie, and the five of you kind of set down at a slightly separated table, as you can just hear the kind of laughing and chorus and stories, and there's one boy kind of sitting like standing up on the bench but sitting against the wooden wall, and beginning to kind of hum and sing, and some other people kind of join him in. And it's when there's not people here respecting the dead, especially with the amount of kids and the influx of younger people that there are here. It seems that the dour mood does not seem to stick very often. With that, though, the more serious, the older members of the temple are still the more, I guess, Rem-like members of the temple have sat and are enjoying themselves and talking, but they don't have that boisterous, loud energy that the kids are working off of. As the three of you sit down with Sly and Kate, Sly, even without like moving into the slice of pie, is just, so we gotta know the great stories for the kids. What you've sent us. How much of it's authentic?
All of it?
Every piece.
Every piece. And then some. Because I didn't put the 7 ascended stuff in there. I don't know about that. But yeah, all of it. And then some. I think I said that before. Before, was it before Dentor or after?
It was as you guys were going to Dentor, so.
Oh yeah. We then I'll tell you about that one privately. And then we fought a dragon. And then an entire kobold army.
Mm-hmm.
For a second time.
Right. The fireball? You control fire?
Not anymore. I handed that item off, but that is an item. I can control the weather now.
Well, we'll see about putting that to some practical use if you don't mind for tomorrow.
Perfectly fine. What else happened after the letter? Oh boy, let me check. What else? It's been such a short time, but it feels like we've done so.
After the dragon was the temple, and then after that was
the temple's your story to tell, and then we went into a different plane of existence,
like
for a second time.
So, okay, that's something I'd want clarification on. And Kate kind of like moves over, and she has eaten the eclair, and she has part of it in her mouth. Yes. Excuse me. So you guys weren't just walking into like an underground forest then? There's a part where you said we got to go to another place, but how it was described is like walking through a cave wall. And there was bears.
There was one bear.
Yes.
Yes.
And I didn't know that there was a talking race of bears.
Oh boy. Now that I think on it, maybe that letter was a bit too much to drop at one time.
Well, the kids love the bear. Well, they love the idea of a bear that talk. A lot of the kids haven't seen. A lot of the kids haven't seen a bear, and honestly, it caused a bit of a problem because, Kay got it into his head that he could go out and find one, and so we had to.
Was a criminal.
Well, that detail would have been good for you to state expressly in there, because then I could have told Kay that the bears are criminals and would ask him to steal things. And then he wouldn't have ran. Well, then if you had said that, I could have used it, and then he wouldn't have run off into the forest, and then we wouldn't have had to spend 3 hours looking for him.
He would have made his way back. They always do.
As long as he didn't meet an actual bear. Look, The mistress guides. Yes, we know that. The mistress also is apt to let nature take its course when someone runs. Whether they were looking for something with innocent intentions or not.
You know, the Force is always kind to us.
Kind
Mostly.
enough. Kind enough. The thing is, Our Lady be blessed. If one of those children meet a bear, it's not going to end well.
No, I didn't know you were gonna tell them his bedtime stories.
It was a good idea. They wouldn't stop. They would be up for hours after closed doors, and then they'd be dead tired in the morning, and they wouldn't learn anything. You can't read scripture if you're face planted in a book.
Oh, you guys have had a hard time while I was gone. You're making me feel bad here.
It's like, you don't have to feel bad. We've done well. It was the right decision, for me to delegate things to others. Kate's been doing a wonderful job teaching. Mare's been a lifesaver in guiding the forest. I do think he's probably got it down as the most. He probably does know the cemetery in the forest like the back of his hand now.
It's a blessing to share the beast of burden with the people around you. It is no lack of virtue to do that. You have done well with what you've had.
Thank you. Yeah, Mare's, he's not gonna be back until
here.
the sun begins to come down, so,
What is he doing?
we got ahead of time to dig a couple plots, and so, he took it upon himself to do it because, today was supposed to be, cleaning and preserving the already existing graves. So, he said that we didn't need to allocate more of the, more to his cause and that he could get it done. He's doing great. He's good at what he does. And the mistress has seen fit to, bless his arms with strength, and so we don't worry about him.
Fair enough. Well, enjoy the treats. I thought I bought enough for everyone to have 3, but you have
You
eight,
did.
8 new faces.
You've bought enough.
I knew this. I would have cleared out 2 more cabins.
Look, it's fine. I'm more than fine just eating this slice, and we'll let the young ones have a second go at it. And like you've probably
I've
made
got
their
things
entire
for
week.
for the growner folks a little bit later. Remember, I told you being out and about had pros and cons.
Good pros then. Very good
Mm.
pros.
The lady doesn't mind a drink every now and again. Learned that the hard way.
Well, it's I don't know. I guess I've been.
Make it seem like you didn't expect me to come back.
I didn't expect you to come back so soon. It's been
I'm
like
visiting.
it's been like a
Like,
month
almost
since
here.
I sent that letter, and you've already come back. I thought it would have been at the minimum 4 if you rushed back. Traveling via
Oh.
the boats is a long
No.
time. You must have left the
No.
second you got the letter.
No. Oh boy. Oh. And it's sad because I want to get one put down here. The city has changed me so much that
What?
I teleported down here.
You could teleport, and he says that loud enough that some of the people look, And then you hear the little kid, do it now!
I cannot. Right now.
Boo!
Look, not me. But I know people. I have
Can
friends. Oh my.
Can I
Teleport that kid on Will and you just like 90 feet poof him.
yeah, can I vortex warp the kid over to us?
Sure, what's the saving throw?
I
I
appreciate
believe it's con.
Okay. 7.
Failure.
He's a child.
over
He's a
here.
5-year-old.
He rolls better than I do, though, which is sad.
Get over here.
And you say get over here, and then on the table, just screams at the top of his lungs. It's like, oh god. And he's just, that was awesome! Just rolls off the table and hits the floor, and you just see his hands go up past the bench and past the table. You don't see his head, but you see like the little fist clench. Woo! Runs.
You have to roll wild magic.
You do.
This is where I kill everybody in the room.
Fireball.
I don't know the space on this fucking table.
You're
10.
playing a
We're
dice
safe.
game.
I play my dice game like
got
everyone else,
shit.
directly in my lap.
I
I got
just roll my
shit
dice.
all on my table. Roll a 10.
Alright,
We're safe.
we're good. Nothing happens. Everything plays out exactly like I just said because it's cool. So.
It's fine.
Oh. That's boons, yeah.
I'm a diplomat
My
now.
God. Well, all of us are diplomat. Oh wait, you're probably you're
No.
gonna say something now.
I'm gonna pull out my royal seal.
What seal is that?
That's the seal I got from the kingdom of Papihos as a diplomat. I
What
do
are
things for them.
you?
I work for them sometimes. I've met the king of the country twice.
We haven't.
Oh God! To me, it all feels so normal. But now that I'm back home, I'm like, oh my, oh no! What have I been doing?
Kate leans over. And, you know it. I don't think he would have had to delegate. I was like, no.
I was a leader of the vampire situation.
Yeah.
I was the lord of that town for a month after that.
You
happened.
were a lord?
Briefly, as an interim, in purpose only.
Okay. You weren't lying when you said there was much more to tell.
I was writing the letter in a hurry. I thought I was going to die. Okay. We'll talk about all that later.
Sure. What are we talking about now?
I don't want the kids to hear any more of this. They're gonna ask me too many questions.
They're already gonna ask you too many questions.
I
You
don't
know
mean-
that.
Like I'm okay with the bear question. I don't want to be asked about vampires.
Kay is literally never going to leave you alone now. Especially since she teleported him. It's minimum gonna be at least once a day from now on, probably.
That is not something that I think she should be doing once a day, and she will tell you that while Suna, this is my home. How do you like it? Ferris, how do you like it?
It's a nice home.
It is somehow, dear, the fastest and slowest paced place I have ever been. Everyone
Now
talks slow, concise, and means their word, and then a child teleports onto a table and screams at the top of his lungs. It is...
Now you know.
Is this
mean
what every
someone
church
would
is like,
take
is my
all that.
only question.
No, just this one. This. Okay.
Sounds like a mixture of a church and an orphanage.
I'm just gonna look at Sly and just kind of like bow my head.
Yeah. Hmm? That's what you get. You know, we don't just dig graves. In case, one of us just digs graves. The rest of us practice religion and worship, teaches kids that have been separated from their parents or needed to be given up for one reason or another. And, yeah, we have our own little community. Barris kind of nods. I guess I apologize speaking a little out of term.
It's fine.
It's
the
a
thing
lot.
Is, it's fast, but now you know how I was able to deal with the rest of the party.
Herding cats.
More or less.
We do what we can. Yeah. There's nothing else I'd rather do. We get to serve the mistress, and we get to help a lot of people. It's good.
Start making healing potions too.
I mean, we haven't been able to do anything along that until Mur got blessed. You were the only person with any sort of blessings. You just
Potion
had to
making is not a blessing. There's something that I will teach, and I'm going to take those potions out and put them on the table.
kind of looks at the vial. This is... I can't say I'm used to, it. Or knowledgeable. But, did you just put something more expensive than the food you just brought in on the table?
It's actually worth twice the amount I paid for the food. And I have three more of them in my bag.
I shouldn't be surprised. You did say you were a lord. I don't know. Are we... I don't know. It's been, what, a year-ish since you've walked off? Needed to go and do things on your own, and now you come back and you put things that are worth more than the door that keeps us warm at night. You did better than anyone would have thought.
It's not without its hiccups along the way.
But you're here now, and you've definitely done it.
I've come back home and shared a wealth. I was thinking, how much would it cost to repair the temple, do you think? Guesstimate.
Repair?
Yes.
We'd have to ask Mur about that, but I don't know.
Going off my memory, could I guesstimate now that I have a better knowledge of what it means to dictate and lead?
You can make an intelligence check, yeah.
12?
12. You don't necessarily have, I guess the biggest knowledge, I would say, but the repairing of a temple, looking at the worn stone, how everything else is old, you're going to be looking at thousands. Not into the tens of thousands, but thousands for general repair.
Okay. We'll start small. I think 1,000 should be enough to start off with.
Right, Lord, you gotta remember,
That is not money that I got for being a lord. That is money that I got for my deeds.
Whatever deed gives you more money than being a lord, it's gonna be. You're gonna have a lot of bedtime stories to tell people.
Should ask Barris how much money she has. She's the one that pays me.
And he kind of looks at him. He's not entirely lying. I don't pay him every time. But I did pay him quite a lot. Yes. You are... I do not have another sentence to say, Ram. I've hit the roof of my vocabulary.
I will tell you it all, and over the course of this meal, I would like to answer as many clarifying questions as I can without mentioning the Ascended whatsoever, with the occasional interjection from Barris. And for now in the session, I am willingly passing the torch.
Sounds good. As
I will do something later, I pass the torch for now.
the torch has been passed to another nation. As we are going to go to a morning. The next morning in Usapate. Nime. Let's throw you onto the fire for a second.
My mic was not activated, but hello. Yes,
Hello.
I'm here.
Welcome. You spent the night before brewing the salve.
Mm-hmm.
As it takes a while and you have to keep watching it, this is something that you stayed up for throughout the night, brewing, watching, making sure it didn't you don't want the honey to any part of the liquid to evaporate. You don't want it to caramelize. You want it to become this rich, viscous, you want it to remain the general property of honey, but you do need the components to change and to heat up so it can absorb some other ingredients that you're throwing in. And that's what you've been doing throughout the night. As the beginning of the sunrise begins to kind of shine through the window of Esumi's cabin, and the warmth of the rays of sunrise kind of nip the back of your head as you've been over this salve. You have finished what you spent the night working on. The only other thing to kind of note about the room is he has kind of rolled out a camping bedroll just so that he was just resting close by, but throughout the night, after seeing that you have a handle on things, he laid down, commenting that he was just going to rest his side, and drifted off to sleep, and is currently resting peacefully, maybe about 10 feet away from you.
Okay. Is he sleeping right now then?
Mm-hmm. Just quietly sleeping.
Is the salve ready?
It is.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and take it off of the low burning fire and then place it aside to not overcook it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I am going to take out a piece of paper and write a note. Because I'm not going to wake him up because he needs to rest, especially if he's healing right now. And just let him know that I'm going to be stepping out, but don't touch the salve.
Okay.
And then I want to go breakfast shopping. That's the
Breakfast.
best way I can put that is
For
breakfast shopping.
Brookie. Alrighty. You kind of slowly step out and quietly close the door and begin walking back to your hometown. A town filled with workers, so it is not unusual to you that you can hear kind of the sound of people moving, puttering around in the morning. The sound of people talking, already making deals and trades. Someone somewhere, as you move further into town, you can hear the crunch of bark as someone is stacking firewood. And as you move through this, you can see every once in a while there is someone who recognize you as you catch some looks and smiles and waves. Just kind of heading through the town with some of the people recognizing you and some of the people not.
Okay. I'm just gonna go to the local bakery again.
Mm-hmm.
I guess, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're good. I was just going to describe that they have bread already kind of set and rising and resting. The different kind of the bread that is rising before it's actually put in the oven, and then the resting bread after they've taken it out. They've already kind of started that cycle. And being a member of this town, you know that every order that they kind of put out, it is something that someone has kind of pre-ordered, because in this town it is everyone just trading with everyone else. The dedicated bakery is then goes and trades with the butcher, who then trades with, and it's this beautiful ecosystem that just runs out, sometimes without a single copper exchanging hands. But as you kind of go up to the window, you can see Juniper just kind of moving, and she sees you, and although it is morning and it seems that they've been moving around for a while, she just kind of quietly, as she's holding this kind of steaming pan in one of her hands, just kind of gives you a wave with the other hand and keeps moving as you go up to the window.
Okay. I'm going to walk up to the window and say, I need 2 Danishes, please.
Danishes. All right. Well, we've just put Morton's loaf for the day in our oven, but we'll start setting some dough aside for you. If that's all right. It'll take a few, but we've always got some extra dough set aside.
That's okay. That's
All right.
no problem at all.
Well, I'd hate to keep you waiting since you've just gotten back.
Well, it's not like I have anything super important going on right now.
Nothing important enough for a lady to get 2 Danishes. Obvious.
We don't need to talk about that.
Gives you a smile.
Who's to say that I'm just not hungry this morning?
Of course. She smiles, and you can see, you swear you see a wink from her before she disappears.
She would. Okay. I'm just going to, with waiting, does she have any milk available? Or do I have to go somewhere separate for that?
Of just like moving around and grabbing ingredients.
Mm-hmm.
You can just tell me what you need, and I'll give you the end and amount.
Okay. I just want to get 2 bottles of milk, some Danishes, and then I'll also take 2 eggs.
Okay. Mhm. It looks all together you're gonna be spending 4 silver. Because you're getting full bottles.
Mm-hmm.
So 4 silver for all of it, including the Danishes.
Hey. Well, I'm not just gonna pay 4 silver for the Danishes, so I'm going to give ta, ta, ta. Can I give, gosh, how much silver did you say?
4.
How many gold pieces is that?
It is 1 silver less than half a gold piece.
Oh my god. Okay.
You
well, I'm
don't
just gonna
understand that
pay...
you guys are rich.
Ah,
Guys,
okay, well,
money goes in tens. Do you have 40 copper?
yes.
That's the same. So 10 copper is 1 silver, 10 silver is 1 gold, 10 gold is 1 platinum, and then don't pay attention to the E thing in the middle. No one uses it.
Great. I'm just gonna go ahead and pay up 2 gold pieces per vendor.
Every single time there is a chorus of people. The the lovely human woman that you grab the eggs from, I'd say, this is far too much. You don't. To the older man that you get the mail from is, now that's just being downright irresponsible with your money, dear. You can't do this to yourself. And then over at the bakery where after you've gone back, she has the Danishes just kind of ready for you, and as you do that, she looks at you. Are you gonna do this every time that you ask for a pastry from me?
Yes.
Well,
Just yes.
all right. Well, don't be surprised if there's something else waiting at the door of your house for you.
Don't you dare.
I think I will dare.
Don't you
And I don't
dare.
think you can
Just
do.
take it.
I don't think you can do a thing about it.
Oh man. Okay. Fine.
You can't just put something lessons like this upon us and then act us to selfishly just take it all for ourselves.
You blessed me my entire childhood. It's the least I can do, really.
You ain't getting away with it. And you know it.
And Nime is going to roll her eyes, but in like a playful way. Not in like a very serious way. And then she's going to take all of the goods back to Esumi's.
All right. As you kind of make your way back through all this, you see him. That's just kind of, the door is now open, which you know you closed it to the house. And as you walk up to the door and peek inside, he has just kind of sat up and is sitting cross-legged by the fire, in full view of the door, just kind of almost like he was airing out the house.
Okay.
He's still inside.
Okay. Nime's just going to walk in, grab the cooking pot in which she was using for the honey, and then put water in the pot and boil the eggs for hard-boiled eggs.
Okay.
And then she's going to pass Esumi a bottle of milk, a Danish, and then a hard-boiled egg once it is finished.
I'm sure everyone in the town's been delighted to see you again.
Well, I would sure hope so, considering that I've been gone for a while, but they seem more I had some sass today due to my what I like to call blessings, but that's okay.
What did you do?
Well, adventuring's been paying off,
Mm.
so I may have just been paying double or more of what I owe to people when I ask for things.
Mm. Oh, I'm sure they're not going to stay mad at you for long, if that's the case. If that's all that they have against you.
I sure hope not.
Well, thank you so much for the breakfast.
All right, so are you ready?
I mean, you spent a long time making this. It's honey?
Kinda. Go ahead and unbandage.
All right. Would you mind, while I do this, explaining to me what the kind of part of the honey is?
Mm,
The fact
No.
that you are giving it pause does not fill me with excitement.
oh, it'll be fine. You'll be happy about it. Don't worry about it. Think of it as a gift.
I'm all ready.
Okay. With that, Nimi is just going to be taking it in her little fingers and like applying
Little
it
finger.
to her little fingers and applying it to.
Mm-hmm. It's a process of basically of the largest part of inlaying the honey in the cut, and it's the first thing of like when you press, you've got a bit of the honey salve on your thumb and you press it onto the beginning of the wound at the top of his chest by his just below his collarbone, and his muscles kind of involuntarily like move in his right arm, and then after that and like a quick pause, you get no more grief from him or his involuntary muscle movement as the honey is applied to the long wound along his chest, stomach, and the beginning of his leg. He does remark on it being warmer for something that seems like it's been taken off the fire for so long, would be expected to be. And as you kind of finish this, he remarks on it continually like getting warm and like spreading throughout the skin around. And
Is it burning him? It's not burning him,
it's not
right?
burning him. It's
Okay.
You know, like icy hot.
Yes.
It's kind of like that is how it feels, except it's like slightly like inside your skin because it's a cut. So it's a very interesting feeling for him, and he's just remarking on it. And then after you finish that, he's just kind of sitting there with the bandage like wrapped up around his arm. And do I reapply this, or am I supposed to let it breathe?
Oh god. Is he supposed to reapply it? I have no idea. Helm?
You should roll those healing dice first and see how he feels.
Oh god. What dice do I roll?
I think it's 2d8s plus something.
JC?
2d8 plus 4.
Grabbing.
Okay, so that is
2d8s plus 2.
2. My bad.
13.
I didn't know either.
13. Okay. As this is kind of magical healing, and it's a thing as you're taking pause to think about it, right, Nime?
Mm-hmm.
And you're looking at the wound as he just kind of like sits there with this long gouge throughout him. And as you watch, slowly but noticeably, you kind of watch the end of the wound by that where it ends just at the just below the collarbone begin to slowly just push in and like scab over. Like the wound is further closing, you watching as the coloration, the terrible like discoloration of his skin is beginning to, again, gradually but noticeably fast enough for you to immediately notice in this moment, the discoloration is beginning to leave his body from the sword wound.
Is this gonna be something just as or do I? Well, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Does Nime know if it needs to be reapplied or not?
Generally, whenever Rem applied the salve, he didn't put bandages on it.
Okay. Leave it open for air.
All right. And he kind of almost like looks down at himself to, at the very least, pull his the trousers up over his thigh and on like up to his waist. He like comes, oh, and again and begins like noticing himself that the discoloration is already leaving.
Mm.
Well,
I told you not to worry about it.
I guess I didn't have to worry about it. That works very fast.
Which is a good thing. And while we wait for it to do its thing, Nime's gonna take out her gun and kind of just like shake it a little bit. You want to try it?
I would love to. All right.
Is there... Sorry, go ahead.
No,
JC.
you're good. I was just going to remark that he kind of flexes and pushes himself up first with just using his arms to like sit standing up in the air before his legs go into a crouch, and then he stands straight up.
Perfect. Is there anywhere we can shoot this that isn't going to worry the people around the little town?
Look, I'll be frank. There is a large chance that the people in your town have never heard, nor seen, nor even known about a gun. So it's just gonna sound like thunderstruck wherever you shoot, and there's not a damn thing you can do about it besides go 3 miles out of town.
Okay, great. We're gonna go traveling to the woods. I still have my horse, don't I?
You do.
Okay, perfect. We're gonna go ahead and travel out.
Are you... Is it that loud?
Oh, trust me, it is that loud.
I should have trusted you on the honey, and I will now put my faith in you for your gun. Gun, right? Gun.
Wouldn't put that much faith into it, but I appreciate the enthusiasm.
There's plenty more where that came from. And
Okay. I have an idea.
Absolutely.
But continue with what you were saying.
No, go for it. Anything that you say is going to be leagues better than what I can cook up right now.
So, I don't just want these bullets going willy-nilly, right? So, as a aim assist or something to aim at, I'm going to rip off one of my bullseye lantern patches and use that because it has bullseye in the name, so it obviously could be used as like a
You're just gonna shoot a lantern?
Yes.
Nice. Hell yeah.
Could also use those empty milk glasses.
I don't think JC, you just let me forget the milk glasses.
I did.
No!
I'm a cruel and angry god.
Oh man. Guess I gotta go back all the way home.
Mm-hmm.
JC, I'm gonna make the trip back.
It's the whole thing of like you get 5 miles, like shit. You know what would be perfect? The milk. And you go
Milk.
back and get it. It's chuckling. But yeah, the two of you head out, empty milk bottles, kind of clanging, and head a couple miles out of town. You guys get kind of you get to a spot where there's this small hill, and what you do is, as you kind of disembark, you look and you're like, this is good because you follow proper firearm safety, and you looking, you're like, okay, we can shoot at the hill and the bullets will go into the hill and not go somewhere else.
Don't aim it at me,
Yeah.
or I could die.
Or you could die. And go over there and you set the bottles down. And as you kind of come back to Nezumi, he's like, all right, I'm ready for a lesson.
Okay. Watch what I do. And I'm gonna take the gun. I'm gonna ask him first. You like thunderstorms, right?
Very calming when you know it can happen.
Perfect. Don't be alarmed. And then Nime's just gonna take the gun and shoot it immediately at the bottle.
All right. Roll to
Do
hit.
I need to roll anything? Okay.
There is. A bottle has a DC, believe it or not. You can miss the bottle.
No. I want to miss the bottle. I missed the bottle.
What'd you roll? Remember, it's a bottle. It's not 7 Ascended.
So, oh gosh.
Did you roll a 10?
I rolled a 2.
Oh, that jams, doesn't it? Or
Yeah.
so
No.
So,
no, Riz.
Nime-
No.
Nime, you pull the gun, you say, "Watch this," and click. He it looks like a second passes. 5 seconds. Wonderful.
One more time.
Okay, you have to clear the jam now.
I will clear
So,
the jam.
make-
Do I need to roll for that?
Yes, it's intelligence with your proficiency because of
I was gonna say, am I proficient?
you are
It should be.
proficient in it because you have the Tinker's Tools proficiency.
Perfect. Beep 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 beep. Wah. And it was what now?
The DC, I believe. You don't fail a DC 10 again.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I passed that. I rolled
Okay.
an 11 on the
As-
D20.
You can just see that the powder in there had gone kind of dry, and you kind of shake out that barrel and check the other ones. You're like, okay, we're good. Pack it back, reload that barrel. You should be good.
Try that one more time. And I'm going to turn to shoot the bottle.
All right.
And I rolled an 11 on the dice. So
Okay. Bang! This echoing thunder rolls through the hillside where you're at, and the bottle shatters. And you can see the kind of like slight jolt, as if someone who like is expecting a lightning strike and thunder afterwards, but didn't quite get the timing of it exactly right, so it still got them a little bit as his shoulders kind of contract. That is loud.
Very. Your turn. And I'm just going to
Quiet.
pass it to him, but make sure to like pass it to him carefully to where the gun barrel isn't aimed at me at all.
Okay.
And kind of just back up.
All right. As he grabs it and looks first at it with both of his hands, just kind of looking at it, kind of turning it over, and then back at you. And then he is going to kind of hold both of his hands together, put the pistol in front of him, And he's gonna shoot with no proficiency. Bang. Ha! 19 on the dice.
Wow.
Shatters the bottle. Huh. And he looks, he's like, that was great. Oh. It burns your hand a little bit. The shock of
I
it.
know.
Ah,
Isn't it just wonderful, though?
quite literally lightning in a barrel. Just waiting for you.
Really?
It's like,
I learned it from someone who beat me in a battle once. They had one, and I wanted to learn how to make it, so that's where this one came from.
Either you heal a lot faster than I do, or he didn't actually shoot you. I feel like it looks like it would cause quite a hole.
Well, luckily I was wearing armor.
Oh, yes.
But yes, it would have left quite a hole.
You wear, you have a bit, thicker skin than a milk bottle, no? No,
Me?
is this the main way you kick ass these days?
Well, that and my swords, really. I haven't been using much else other than my pepper box and my long swords.
Well, it must be an effective combo then.
I think so. I mean, I don't have to get too up close and personal, especially if something's pretty scary.
Well, it's amazing. And he just taught you.
Right.
The cruelty of the world is only matched by its generosity. There must be a lot of interesting people over there in Papihos, then.
You should come and meet them.
Oh, not too sure about that. Them meeting a washed-up swordsman who got obliterated.
I mean, you're totally right. Who would even want to meet you? She's saying this very jokingly.
You're cruel. You are destroying my confidence, and I will never be the same now because of you.
Kind of my job.
Yes. Well, I'd say you're allowed to break my spirit because you repaired my actual body. So we'll call that a fair trade. And I will take it gladly. Do you know how annoying it is to not be able to do anything? Not when you saw
Well-
me, of course. But it was a good month before I could reliably pick things up with my arm.
Well, not only were you damaged, but there isn't really much to do here in the first place. Do you not think so?
I've been able to do plenty while I'm here. But you are not wrong. I did come back here in part because I would be able to rest. And it was good for me. No, it...
You know,
Obviously not.
do you want to go on an adventure?
What type of adventure do you have in mind?
We're gonna go look for your horn. He thinks I'm joking. I know he thinks I'm joking, but I'm not joking.
My horn is probably at the bottom of a dock. Or fed to a hog in in a market.
Yeah, but wouldn't it be kind of fun to just go back?
You're just trying to get me off Usapate.
Probably.
Probably.
Yeah.
You don't want me to remain in your lovely little hometown. Nice
Well-
and set where you can find me.
Well, yeah, but it would be a lot easier to find you if you just came with me.
It's very sweet of you that you would still be willing to travel with me after the state you saw me in.
Well, it's kind of mean of you to think that I wouldn't.
I'm not... I should rephrase. I'm not trying to... I'm not trying to make you seem uncaring as of normal. I'm commenting on the fact that you're willing to take on someone who quite obviously couldn't hold their own.
I wouldn't stretch that far. One fight doesn't mean you can't hold your own. Those guys were hard.
You got them.
It took not by myself. I couldn't have done it without my friends. I probably would have come out a lot worse than you did for that.
I think you would have been just fine. You shortchange your skills.
Well, I don't know.
You don't know.
It would have been pretty difficult by myself. Regardless of any skills I might have picked up on the way there. Not to mention, we did have one of the old group members on our side, too.
Right, you mentioned that. It's not... You do have to remind me. Not the copper one, right?
The white one.
White
that
one.
you didn't get to meet. And the reason you didn't get to meet him was because he was with us.
Well, you... All right. Nime, where's your adventure?
We have to go to the library.
Oh, wonderful.
And with that, I'm passing the torch.
Okay. Does anyone have a volunteer for next?
I will go if no one speaks up.
I mean, I don't have anything that I want to do, but
Would you like...
I figure if you have things planned for them to give me, that that's also fine, but I think that we just kind of summed it up last time of they give me tasks and I do them for 10 months.
You do them.
I do them and I'm great at it.
What if
Gotcha.
in your spare time you started trying to make a legendary weapon? Because, fuck it, right? It'll be funny. Because you have enough weeks
I
to
mean,
make an item of legendary quality.
There's something interesting for, I guess, Gil or Zex now that I'm looking at the notes that can technically happen. Gil while you're protecting in Dacaria, or Zex while you're in between contracts.
Sure, why not?
Either way, I'm up for it.
Alright.
I'm here to roll dice and kick ass, and I'm all out of ass, so let's roll
Alright.
some dice.
All right, Gil.
Take 25 wisdom saves.
We
No!
we move over to the Dragonborn city of Dacaria. Gilgamesh,
Mm-hmm.
you are coming back to your residence. There today was not a challenging day for you per se, but an eventful one. There was a pipe that had basically exploded, and from it poured this collective, almost colony amount of steam methods,
Oh.
taking over and basically shutting down the floor directly above the actual magma extraction chamber.
That's no good.
As you had walked in and basically with a few a few of the dragon mages for support, the individuals in like deep golden robes that you guys had originally seen at the competition for the champion, like overseeing it, just kind of walking behind you just because there's so many of them. You did not suffer much that you would consider. You would not consider that you have taken a large amount of damage. That's not something that you would think. But with that, you and the two mages dispatched the runaway colony of steam methods for the day. And so as the night air kind of comes around you, you emerge from the heart of Dacaria steaming due to the hotness of your skin at the moment, and begin heading back to your abode. This trail of water vapor just following you behind.
Does it look cool? Like, do I look
Have you
cool?
ever seen the video of the water buffalo in the morning from like Yellowstone? It is.
Oh!
It's so good. It's so.
I think I know the video you're talking
It's
about.
so good. And as you're walking, what you see at the door of your current abode, there are two figures. One of them is just kind of standing there, kind of awkwardly, and the other one is kind of up against the door, knocking on it. The one that is standing there has a great axe that they've kind of like have slung over their shoulder, and they're kind of holding onto the leather strap. And then leaned up against the house is a large like maul. Both large two-handed weapons.
How big are these people?
They're not as big as you. They're probably
all I
like
can hear.
5'8"ish.
Okay.
And they look about the similar height. You can see that they have like traveling clothes on, and one of them's knocking on the door. Excuse me.
As I'm approaching, I want to get like relatively close.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna keep approaching, but I'm just gonna say, "May I help you?"
and it's the thing of the one, his hand about to raise up to knock again, kind of spins, and the other one kind of moves, and you can see the hand kind of go, like, almost unconsciously to the strap of the great axe before they see it's you, and it's you there just kind of steaming. But it's one of those things where the second he sees you, and you can see recognition dawn on this young man's face as the hand drops, and I'd like you to make a history check.
I have a theory about who these two are.
If you fail this history check, you are allowed to just say that theory.
If I'm right, I'm gonna be so mad. Because I know how Minia has brought this up. Not recently, but before.
Wait a minute, I wasn't paying attention. Who's at his door? What do they look like?
I haven't described them. I just said two
Right.
people about the same height, looking the same age.
Okay.
It's a base 19 history.
Okay, you're
it's
fine.
just a 19.
You look and you can see these young, derived from an elvish lineage
Yup.
faces.
Yeah.
As these two young men, the one that was knocking on the door kind of pulls back his hood. Gilgamesh, it's you, champion of Dakaria. It is a pleasure to see you again. And the other one is, we have come seeking your presence. Can we talk? If it's not too much of a bother.
I'm the only one who, I'm the only one at my house besides these two, right? Like, there wasn't anybody else
No,
who was,
you
like...
don't have roommates as the champion of Dakaria.
Well, no, but, like, none of, like, the mages or anybody that helped me with the steam problem, like, came back with me to my house to, like, continue talking about things or anything, did they?
No, it was late at night. You guys spent
Okay.
the majority... This happened, like, basically at, like, 11 a.m., and you guys have been there since noon, probably until, like, 6 or 7-ish. You guys have... It's been a day. And it wasn't a difficult day for you. It was just long because you kept finding them. There was so many of them just in cracks and just everywhere.
So, I mean, as a player, I have a really good estimate of who these two are.
Yes, you do recognize them.
Does Gil put two, like, does the
that's the
history
role,
check,
yes. You do put
the
two
history
and two
checks puts it
together.
there?
You recognize them.
And they're requesting my time?
Yeah, to talk with you.
Oh. Sometimes I forget I'm a man of importance now.
All of you do.
Yeah.
You're like, we want to be important, and then the second you're important, you guys are like, oh.
It's like, oh, I forgot
You
about
saw
that.
it hit me the moment I got home. Like, I'm a diplomat.
Yeah, it
What
literally
the
happened.
It's your turn.
No, because everybody in the party shit talks me, and then I'm like, oh, like, people actually have to treat me with respect sometimes. Oh.
I think it's a thing we don't
Um,
realize because we treat each other like fucking garbage. But like,
Yeah.
anyone that's not us, like, has to respect us.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, we all like, we want titles, and the second people respect you, you're like, I feel awkward.
I'm just a dude.
I'm
Yeah, I feel
uncomfortable.
Weird.
I'm uncomfortable. So,
I guess I'll just kind of, like, brush past both of them, open my door, and I'll walk past both of them, open my door, walk into my house, leaving my door open.
okay. there's probably about like 30 seconds where you don't see and you probably don't care, but it could be inferred that they look at each other, and then one of them goes in, and then the other goes in. As you can see now, it's like, although one of them has the maul now, the other one, that great axe, is, you look at it and it is of orcish make. It looks like the same one, probably, that you guys had handed them. For reference of people that don't understand,
Oh God!
from
this was like beginning of the
literally a
campaign.
year-ish ago,
Yeah.
the party happened along a elvish majority and dwarvish minority town of Dartmouth, and it was being assaulted by a tribe of orcs. The resident town locked in had already been slaughtered, and together the group banded, fought off some of the orcs, and trained the townspeople. And among them were two half-elven boys who had taken a liking or a tutorship underneath Gil. Rem trained people in range, and Gil trained these two in great weapon mastery.
Which I was great at, by the way.
Yes. There's no way in hell. I will be so impressed if you remember their names.
Oh, I wrote them down. Of course I remember their
That
names.
information.
Oh, I already
want-
have it.
Everyone to put this in perspective. That was 92 episodes ago.
That started.
We
Yep.
met these boys in episode 2.
Yep. Episode 2 and
What a
3, I
fucking
believe,
callback.
had these guys. Yeah, this is
It
from
was
a
2
while
in there.
ago.
What a fucking call.
No, it has been brought up by how many a couple times where he says, "What are you gonna do with these two once they show up?" And my answer has
it?
always been, "I don't really know."
I brought it up one good time, and that was kind of like he just brushed it off. But like, I
No.
guess he's been thinking about it because I brought it up when I laid him to rest. Remember?
Oh.
Yeah.
They're gonna be so
Yeah, I was
disappointed
like,
in you.
I don't remember, but I don't put it past you.
It was me guilting him because I was talking about my kids and I was crying at the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's when I laid him out in the sand and he literally and metaphorically saw God.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh my God. Hold
All
on.
right.
When they
That was about
First see
60
me?
episodes ago.
first see me, can I insight check them to see what they like? If they see the really big scar on my face,
Yeah. Sure.
or I guess what do they think about it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, I might have advantage. Hold on.
Might
remembered this.
Have advantage.
I
That's
remembered
our
this
favorite
last time,
game.
and now I forgot.
I love the possible advantage game.
It is a fun game because it gives me a false sense of hope.
I just try to like bullshit my way into the
Oh.
advantage.
Advantage on wisdom parenthesis insight check.
Wisdom parentheses.
That's like literally what it is.
Nice.
I should probably like turn my light on or something because I cannot see anything.
Man rolling dice in pitch black.
Okay. That sucked. Oof. Okay, 15. That's not as bad as I thought it would be.
Okay. They seem curious, but at the same time, both of them seem like set and prepared, and they're like on a path, and you're gleaming from this that they've been like practicing like what they're gonna say. And like they're trying to run through the routine, but as you already knew with one of them stuttering,
They're not doing a great job.
they're faltering, these boys.
Yeah. I mean, when you go from basically some nobody like teaching you how to swing a sword to this same person being the champion of like a whole city is pretty I don't know. That's a big jump, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm just kind of I'm in my house. I'm waiting for them. I hope they
Yeah.
close the door behind them. I'll beat their ass.
I mean, they do. The one with the mall comes in first, and then the Great Axe one comes in afterwards, and the door shuts behind.
I mean, do I have like a kitchen or something? Like, is there a place that I can like prepare food?
You do. You have this
Nice.
main entryway with a fireplace and a lounge-ish area. You have a kitchen, a small but acceptable dining room. It would house like at most like 6 people. And then offwards you have a storage area, basically an area that has a storage area, a general purpose area, a bedroom, bathroom, and then there is in the actual kitchen is the ladder that leads up to the roof. So there's the quick layout.
So yeah, I'll just kind of go to my kitchen and just like start whipping up some food and like I'll just kind of let them. I'll let them figure it out. They're the ones here on business with me, so.
And they kind of like shuffle into the kitchen and or just outside of the kitchen. They're in the dining area, like, and the kitchen has like a view of the dining area, so they're just kind of across from you, looking through this the window kind of cut into the wall. As you begin moving around the kitchen, as they kind of look at each other, and then the one with the great axe kind of clears his throat. It's been a while, and it's been a while since the last time we've seen you, and we have heard of what your new job and the thing what you are to this city, and the great the mall one kind of, and we were wondering if you had time, and of course because you're a champion you might not have time to set a few hours aside for people who you've helped before. We've traveled a bit ourselves and heard much more about what you and the others have accomplished since you left Dartmouth, and when we last saw all of you in the Halls of Glory for the tournament.
So the two of you would like me to train you again more extensively now?
We know we have more to offer this time, and this is the Great Axe one's speaking. Zardoff, he's great, but we've gotten all
skill ceiling.
He's taught us, and he says it himself, so it's not us having heads about ourselves, it's his words. He's got nothing more to give us. We understand that you're busy, you are the champion, but we'd be more than happy if you had the ability to spare an hour or so for us. And while you were being a champion, we'd not be in your way.
And what time constraint did you put on this? A couple hours a day?
We kind of look at each other. Before the mall one kind of looks back and speaks first. Our time constraint is whatever you need it to be. I know that we're the ones asking, so we don't get a say in time restraints. We'll happily take as much or as little as you're willing to give.
Well, your first lesson begins now, and that if you would like to ask for things, not necessarily from me, but from people, be more abrasive and demanding. Back them into a corner and make them make a decision. Don't offer, you could do this or you could do that. Give them limited options.
Yes, sir.
Then you can more than happily drop the formalities. It's, they're just kind of gross, to be honest.
I wondered, it didn't seem like the Gilgamesh that we knew from Dartmouth to Don Tyler, and the other one kind of like nudges him in the ribs. And then no titles it shall be.
No, I wanna let him finish his thought. Please.
What I was saying, doesn't seem like you to give titles to yourself or others. You just saw that we were happy to pick up axes and you gave us the time of day.
You do make a fair point. I'm not one for titles. As of currently, I see no problem being able to train the two of you, but that is also under the guise that the Lord will allow me to do so, but I see no problem with that. The only other constraint is seeing if the two of you are actually worth anything.
And the one with the mall, and you can see carefully picking his words. We will be in your way just enough to prove that we are worth your time.
That's good to hear, but I'd like you to speak your mind a little more often. Be abrasive, be rude.
That'll be worked on. For the record, that was my attempt. Never mind. It was a good attempt. And that's all that need to be said about it.
How close am I to being done with making a meal?
It depends. You're just making something simple, I'd assume.
Yeah, just like a quick thing to eat because I just went out and had to do things and just probably go to sleep soon after.
Yeah,
so not something not a whole meal.
You're making filet mignon. No, you're good.
Yes.
You kind of have just a plate of different quick seared meat, probably. Let's do teriyaki tonight. Of this mixture just kind of on a plate, and you're good.
So I'll kind of take my food. Surprisingly, I am going to decide to put it on a plate.
Okay. We're all learning.
And I mean, come on, I'm held in high regard. I have to.
You have a title now.
I do. I'll take my plate of food and I'll bring it to the dining room table with them. And I want to set my food down, and I just kind of want to like squint my eyes a little bit and just like stare at both of them for 30 seconds, just kind of going back and forth. I want to see what they make of that. What do they do when I'm just kind of like analyzing them?
You can see and looking closer at them, you probably get who is the technical older brother and who's the technical younger brother. And as you look between them, you see the younger one just watching you. The younger one's the one with the great axe, and he kind of like straightens, widens his shoulder, tries to make himself as much as a specimen. And you do see that they've both have now these kind of lean toned bodies. Like they've been building muscle.
Nice.
But the older one, as you kind of just sit there, eat, like take a bite, look at them, he almost like puts his legs out in like a solid stance, kind of leans on his maul with his right elbow, and just kind of sets his eyes back on you.
I will tell you this, I have their names. I do not remember which one was older.
All right, I will take that challenge. The one that begins with C is the older brother.
Is it Castian? Is that how you pronounce his name?
Yes.
Yes! And then Almir is his younger brother.
Almir is the younger.
See, you doubted that I had their name.
I just wanted you to prove it, and I'm so proud of you.
Oh, thanks.
I'm proud of you.
And once I've kind of more or less deduced, you know, who's who and what's what, I'll kind of more get to my meal and just between bites say, if that's all the two of you got, then I'll see you here tomorrow morning at daybreak.
Will do. It was good to be able to get your time. I look forward to daybreak. Scastian just kind of like moves, like jerks his head towards the door. He goes, yeah. And the two of them, he just kind of picks them all up and puts it on his shoulder. And the two of them open the door and step out. And Castian just kind of quickly looks back over his shoulder at you, pauses at the door, and then closes.
Was that like a reminiscent pause? Like, what kind of pause did he just hit me with?
You almost see, like, right at the end after his eyes leave you and he turns to shut the door, almost like the shoulders kind of relax in like the sigh of, we've done it. We're here.
Fair enough.
It is very obvious to you that these two boys did not have it set in their mind that this was going to work. They were being very, very careful. And you especially saw with the older brother.
Is there a way, I mean, there's no way I can get like more or less approval on this tonight, is there? It's probably way too late.
Unless if she's working late.
I guess I'll finish my meal and go see if she is. I mean, doesn't hurt to try.
It doesn't hurt to try.
Yeah.
At this point, she is not within the office, but you'll be able to go in next morning to do it.
Before the two of them get there.
Oh, you do very much find so that she is a morning person.
Oh, nice. Oh, okay. That's great. Then,
much
yeah, I'll
much
just
to the
resort to
dismay
that.
of some of her advisors.
Yeah. That's okay. They can suck it up.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll just kind of talk to her in the morning and just be like, hey, I'm gonna go do training or something, but if you need me, you're my number one priority.
We'll do a little bit expedient version of yada 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 curt remark about her being the top priority. Yada yada yada. Backhanded appreciative compliment about your skills, and of course that there'd be at some point there'd be some people stupid enough to try and learn from you.
Yeah, I mean it worked once. It's not necessarily bound to work again, but almost.
Mm-hmm. And yeah. She's fine with it. She just says that she will make sure that if you're not in your office, she'll have someone in your office that will send to you, like literally the sending spell.
Oh, sick.
But at the same time, she says it's good for morale for the champion to be there in person, so don't spend all your time. So, you'll be spending dividing your time how you see fit between the two half-elven boys and your job. Naturally, as you have some people looking for tutelage now.
Nice.
Some old faces, young faces, but old in time. Young
old faces.
Young adult. All right.
That's so weird. I
He's tripping.
I don't know what it was, but you just said there were two of them, and they called me the champion, and I said, "Oh Lord."
He called you champion,
know.
and you immediately had a bad taste in your mouth. I could hear it.
Yeah, I was just like, "Oof, I know where this is going. I don't like that."
Everyone wants to be a champion until they got to do champion stuff. So
I'm fine doing champion stuff. I just don't like being called champion. I like being called champ, but worse.
Hey, champ.
I'd rather be called champ.
Lady Ironbreath does not call you champ.
Ah.
Maybe if
did.
the Lord Ironbreath, who her father did not retire, and that was the whole reason the champion mantle was being passed. Though, so he might have called you champ. If you remember, he had a bit of a tick of calling you son, though, which also off-put you.
Yeah, that one probably really didn't go over well.
I mean, in my experience, you accepted it 6 times before you asked the Lord of Decaria to be like, hey.
Well, because like the assumption is like once, okay, like happens, and then it just after a couple of times, it's just like, okay,
it's just
man,
what he
like,
calls people.
Nope, I don't care. I'm gonna cut him in half too. I've done it once. I'll do it again.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, we will move off of this away and up from Decaria, and over to not out of the nation, but over to the main city within Papihos, Greywall. The city itself has been doing well, Zex. Not the largest, not the largest of problems, especially compared to the dragon that you all felled a good couple months ago. The most that you've been able to do with these contracts is heading up north to expunge goblin tribes that are trying to reset a foothold with people, both in older caves and other things, even up to one group that had gone extremely, extremely brave, and began to take up refuge within one of the farmhouses, as people are slowly beginning to believe that it was safe up there and moving back. That was a consistent problem within the first 2 months. After you cleared that out, the contracts that you got on again, off again, were of people trading goods between Greywall and Sabeline, Greywall and Foremount, and what do you know, Greywall and Lichton. All of these of people that through the trials and tribulations and just general dangers that had been running amok, the price of being a singular person who, with your name of being the one of the dragon slayers around, people not only trusted you to take on contracts by yourself, but never basically complained about how you were handling things. You got the opportunity and luxury of the ways that you did it, although maybe not at the end they might have not been happy, and the power of hindsight leads people to say things. But in the moment, there was a lot of, he must know what he's doing, let him do his job. At this point, Zex, you have arrived back in Greywall, and as you always do, you kind of return to the keep, bed down for the night, and sleep a peaceful sleep. Although you've again begun to find, and throughout the months, the odd and awkward rigidity of your skin as you've been getting used to it, as you talked at the beginning of this downtime. You've gotten somewhat more used to it, but it always sneaks up on you. It's always just on the edge of your mind until it seems that you're about to forget about it, and then because it's your own skin, it makes itself known. But the morning comes, and you're generally puttering around the main first floor, getting what you need for breakfast, planning on probably going and checking in on the Mages Guild to see what new contracts, if any, have popped up, even though you've kind of gotten used to the fact that with other people, O'Brien and Core, grabbing contracts, generally you're not going to find one for at least another couple days, unless if something big happens. But you do get a fast knock on the door.
Okay, I'll go answer the door.
You open the door to a familiar face. These deep blue eyes, messy, short black hair, a unkept magical robe with patches along the insides, and maybe a little trace of dust left in the creases of his hair and robe with sand. This is Lixon.
What can I do for you, Lixon?
Nice place you got. You know how you're you've asked us to basically spread out and tell you some things. Can I come in?
Absolutely. Come right on in.
And as you do that, I'm not sure whether you get competitively annoyed or appreciative as you see his eyes kind of flash purple for a second as he does a scan himself, looking over your door, looking all that. And he's like, "Huh."
Does he detect the hollow?
He does. That's why he was
Oh.
nodding.
Got it.
Protected. I'm
Yeah.
glad to see you guys haven't gotten sloppy. You said you wanted to be informed. I'm here to make good on that.
Absolutely. What do you got for me?
Well, we've been spreading out. It's been mostly just me at the Vikram front these days. People have been going out. Someone wanted to rationalize or more accurately document your findings on the Lost City. So there's been someone out there. There was someone that went... basically, we're trying to find a Hearthman in every single city in Papihos. And we're working on trying to get every single town, too. It's an anomaly I can't explain, and before I do anything else, I have to ask. Do you think that you guys are in some way enticing or attracting them? The seven.
Not to my knowledge. We, I guess, encountered them on numerous occasions, but you already know that. I guess we did just go into the Shadowfell to get the last of the 5 artifacts, but that's about it. We haven't heard anything since then, so...
So you've
I don't think so.
You've got all of the known artifacts that relate to them.
Yes.
Okay. And are they somewhere safe?
Each of us are keeping hold of whichever one that we use.
Okay. I mean, I've got no reason to doubt you now. So you guys are able-bodied, and what has it been? This scene recorded. Lackham, Pockot, Gordos have that many encounters with them and still have your hands and continuing to, we're able to gather all of them. Your skills, no question. It just makes me nervous that they keep getting in contact with them. And it's partially a theory and partially madness, but I figure anything to tell you would probably be the best thing to do. I want to make sure that it's not a one-sided thing between you all and the Hearthmen.
Of course. Yeah, and I mean, that could make some sense. We just need to figure out if there actually is a connection before we jump to any conclusions.
Yeah, I mean, the point is, and what I've been able to find is, one, yes, someone else was able to find and get into the Lost City.
Okay.
Verify a lot of your things. They couldn't get past. They said that there was an undead below a hole they found in the temple,
Yes.
but there is no signs of life besides some scattered people in there. No collection, nothing. But everything else been verified. And then spreading across cities. No general symbolism, nothing as blatant as the Black Knight encampment that happened between here and Lichton. Everything just seems to have fizzled.
So, when we were in the Shadowfell retrieving the last artifact, we did encounter Kalung, who had the sword. And so, out of game real quick, correct me if I'm wrong, Jacob, he said that they were going to back off for a little bit, right?
He said, you all seem like you deserve some time. And he'll put in a good word for you.
So, Kalung mentioned something to where he said that we all deserve some time. So while I would say that they're probably not out and about right now, I would guess they're probably still doing something.
Well, we have to assume that they're always doing something. You don't just...
Right.
You don't be something like that and just sit still, right?
Right.
I mean, I guess unless you're forced to. I don't know. It was concerning enough for me to come to you and tell you about it, because no matter what, as soon as Papihos had begun building itself, since the construction of Greywall, there have been Hearthmen tracking people who are at least know of the Ascended, you know?
Okay.
There's always someone, like, for lack of a better term, either they're people like you that heard something, and either we pull them in to the knowledge group or they disappear, or there are people that are subservient, you know? It's a cult. You know that as well as I do. Every single aspect of the cult we've been able to find, and any traces or leftover threads from the last decade, have just vanished. People that we've been tracking for years are just gone. We do not lose people. I want to make that very clear. People aren't. Let me rephrase. People aren't supposed to vanish.
Right.
And so I'm trying to figure that out. And I figured everything else for the last year has one way or another led back to U5. And so I needed to find out if these disappearances were leading back to you guys too.
I haven't encountered anything to my knowledge relating to that. Do you have a list of these people you were keeping tabs on?
I mean, of course, everything's listed down. It's the fact is that yes, Papihos is massive. There are tens of thousands of people. There's 40,000 people in Greywall alone. Yes, there are minuscule amounts of people, massive amounts of people all over Papihos, but we've had beads on people. There was people, a dozen in Sabline. There was 3 that managed to run out of Greywall the second people started making noise about the Ascended in here, there used to be people in Lichton before they died.
Right.
That was one good part about the apocalypse that you all stopped is the fact is that there was around 50-60 people who just have blinked out of existence in the past month or so.
Just all over the continent?
All over.
Okay.
And
So
I
then-
wanted to know if you guys had done something or caused something, and it sounds like unwittingly, possibly, or it's a coincidence, and for once you guys aren't the cause. It's been great. No Hearthmen have gone missing. Everyone, this is the first time in a long time that no one's gotten even injured. But it's too easy.
Is it just followers that are going missing?
Yeah. No Hearthmen have been gone no Hearthmen has been so much had a pebble thrown at them. And we've assigned a Hearthman to every single group. And none of them have been able to find out where any of them went.
So it's probably them amassing their forces. So, from what we found out, the 5 artifacts that we gathered, and from what I've been able to piece together, were used by the original group who took down the Ascended back whenever that happened. And now that we have all of the artifacts again, they're probably amassing their forces to either counterattack or for some unknown purpose that we're not aware of.
What? There's no advantage to everyone leaving their positions. You know? I don't know. I guess I don't think like a fucking schizophrenic demigod does, but...
Yeah, I don't know. You said they couldn't get down into the actual antechamber underneath where that guy was guarding, right?
Yeah, he said that there was a dusty undead man with lightning shooting from his eyes. My best guess would be like a holy guardian, but
Okay.
we're good. We're not 1v1 a holy entity good, you know.
Right. I'm just trying to think of locations where they could be pulling back to. Underneath there would be one spot, but I don't know that they would actually do that. Let me try something real quick. Let me check and see how scrying is wording real quick. I can select a location for that, right? It doesn't have to be a person.
Let me double check for you.
You can, but it can't move.
Scry.
What? Like once you drop it into place, it can't move anymore. It moves with the person.
Scrying, a 5th level divination spell. You can hear and see a particular creature you choose that is on the same plane of existence. Instead of targeting a creature, you can choose a location you have seen before as a target of the spell. When you do, the sensor appears and does not move.
Yeah, I have 2 places to check with scrying then. The antechamber underneath the temple in the Lost City, and then the area where we got Rem's shield from under Dentor.
Okay.
So let's start with the Lost City.
All right.
What part of it?
Specifically, like the right, because it's only like a 10-foot
10
radius.
feet.
Yeah.
You get to choose
Um,
10 feet, which is not the best.
Do we have a map so I can pick a spot? It's obviously going to be down at the bottom, but
I mean, I can, yeah.
I'm just trying to think what the best spot there would be.
I mean, basically, like, list something that you remember that was down there. That's probably a good way for you to do it.
Why don't we just go like next to the statue of Lackham, her humanoid figure.
Got you.
I think that was like the southern edge of the chamber.
It was. Y'all have such good memories. And what you do as you kind of sit down and begin kind of fiddling with the scrying implement that you have, and kind of check and look, you are suddenly opening your eyes sitting where so long ago a Lackham disguised sat underneath, in between a statue of herself and a skeletal dragon. And you look around and you can see the perfectly carved statue, and you look up and you can see the edge of the massive skeletal dragon statue. But you continue to look in the sphere that you have, and it's quiet. There is no murmurs that you hear. And as you
Nothing.
as you kind of peer, there's empty space.
Okay. If there's nothing here, let's just cut that early and then just jump over to Dentor and see if there's anything down in there.
Okay.
The left edge of the pit, or maybe right in that doorway that led in.
Okay, the door that just led in to the chamber.
Yeah, the two like the big swinging doors
Mhm.
that opened up.
Yes, I've gotcha. So you kind of pull back and refocus, and you hone in on those massive double stone doors that you all had pushed open and had originally seen Pocket chained and bound, tortured in. And as you open your eyes, the doors are still slightly ajar from where you all had left them. There is a fine layer of mold that has kind of grown, mold and moss that has grown along the walls with the damp underground of this city. So, once again, you kind of listen in, and once again, the silence and soft whistling of Dentor's underground, albeit unnerving, does not sound as if anyone's congregating there.
And then we didn't really cast any saving throw spells on Kalong, did we?
Nope.
Unfortunate. Did any of the Black Knights escape from that prison?
They did not. You guys absolutely destroyed them.
Yeah. Well, and I'm sure they've already tried scrying these guys. I'll ask Lixen this. Did you guys have any luck in the desert locating anything over there besides the camp we already knew about?
I mean, you know what's all in the high sands, don't you?
Not really, no. I'm not super familiar with the geography.
Right. You're, I'm sorry. The biggest things of the high sands, guess northern region, there is a mainly kobold, but also dragonborn draconic city, basically, of Dagon. There was on the edge in more of a marshland, still northern. There was a village of Brindendale. It's been destroyed, but that was a while ago. Then in the middle, of course, there's Vikram. You know that. There was the temple that we had found. There was the fishing town of Shackleforth along the eastern edge. There's the academy. A monastery, basically, where they teach worldly studies. And then kind of in between, but it's worth noting, I guess, in between the vicinity of the high sands and the dark marsh is Kendra, but that doesn't really count.
Right. And did the Hearthmen ever send in any, like, double agents or anything into, like, the Black Knights?
It was an old strategy that was tried before I had actually got in. It never really worked, so that got turned off. Recently, no, is your answer.
Okay. So nothing came up in the desert.
No.
Why don't we, for the time being, get some of your men down into the tomb, or down into the antechamber underneath the temple? I can help with that. And then from there, you guys can go through there to see if there's anything we missed, I guess. And I will spend some time doing my own research, looking around the desert probably, and then do you guys have any information relating to Zavidnia's prison in the Feywild?
We don't have people that jump planes.
Okay.
All right. That sounds like a plan, though.
Yes.
I'll gather some people, and, let's try to get to the bottom of this.
Sounds good. So I'll just come with you back to wherever we're going. Do we want to go back to the Hearthmen location in Vikram to get this organized?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So, out of character real quick,
Mm-hmm.
I don't actually know if the book that I got to teleport to the Hearthmen is still good.
It's fine.
It's good?
It should be.
Okay, so I'll just, using teleport in a 7th level, I'll teleport us over to the Hearthmen.
Gotcha. And with a whiz, you two teleport. Now setting a track for Zex for the next bit. Everyone kind of endowed with a sense of purpose. We are going to end the session there. I don't have much to say besides the fact that even during downtime, wheels keep turning. Thank you, everybody, so much for watching.
35 minutes early?
Thank you, everybody, so much for watching. And I'll be explaining this to the cast later. Don't worry about it. But thank you, everybody, so much for watching. My name is JC, and I'm joined here by 5 wonderful people. And I'll see you all in the next video or stream. Take care, guys. Bye. Bye.